Hey! You are the Onol Menawi who freed us. We managed to reach Vikshadir.
They told me what you did for them, Renaikse. Well done. I was able to give them the care they needed. Some wounds will take time to heal, but they are safe thanks to you.
I'm happy to see that they're better.
But you didn't come here for that, did you?
No. I came to ask for your help. The doctor who captured and tortured you is about to be tried for his crimes. He has a lot of support among his people. He's a respected man despite what he did. If we don't have testimony from some of his victims, he will surely be released.
You'll have our words. We'll go to the Grand City and tell our story.
And the mad lion will die for causing so much harm to our people.
May the earth engulf him. You can return to Hikmet. I'll make sure they get there in good health.
Thank you, Teer Fradee. And thank you all. I blame myself for forcing these poor people back to the city where they have suffered so much.
My people are strong and proud. They will not be afraid to speak in front of your judges for justice.
Doctor...
Dr. Honor, what do you want?
What is your role and what is your research topic?
I'm in charge of the Governor's laboratories. My main research concerns the Malachor, of course. Above all, we searched for a way to reduce the suffering of the sick.
Searched?
Now that we have access to my colleague Asili's work, it gives us hope of finding a cure.
So the crimes he committed while conducting his work do not concern you?
He will be judged for that. But it would be a shame for him to have done all this for nothing.
What do you think of Dr. Asili now that you've learned how he conducted his research?
Well, obviously the few excesses he has conceded himself are unfortunate, but he remains the greatest scientist that the Alliance has ever known. His work has had a profound effect on science. It seems quite unfair to me to reduce his life's work just to what he has done lately.
If I understand correctly, you will be one of his defenders.
Naturally. I don't deny that he made a terrible mistake, but he meant well. And he was probably acting on behalf of our helplessness to combat the Malicor.
Would you agree to speak at the trial? Your influence could be crucial.
Oh, but I already intended to give a statement. His lawyer came to find me.
So are you ready to defend a man who used to torture and murder to advance his research?
Indeed, because I think the entire work of a scientist should not be judged on a single mistake. It is obvious that he should not have used such methods, but Asili has never been very political. I doubt he understood the implications of his actions.
So you're saying the only problem in this case is political?
Essentially, yes. The war he nearly caused could have been expensive for our governor and the city, but let's not fool ourselves. No tears will be shed over the fate of a few of those bloodthirsty savages.
I took a look at a few pages of your research. I was very impressed.
Really? You're very kind. But these are the leads we had to abandon.
Due to pressure from Dr. Asili, if I've understood correctly.
Indeed. According to him, focusing on the reasons behind the contamination was a waste of time. All that mattered was the cure.
And you want to defend him? How many promising leads did you give up to please him? Why continue to serve him when you could finally gain your independence?
You are not wrong. Very well, you've convinced me. I will now testify for the prosecution. It is true that it's time to turn the page and leave his cruel methods behind.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Onur is an influential scholar. His testimony would convince the judges. I never thought I'd see you here again. Why are you still free?
Dr. Onur made sure that I was set free. He needed my help. What do you want?
What is your purpose here?
I helped Dr. Onur to understand the research of my former master. He's the one who became his successor.
I do hope that he doesn't use the same methods.
Of course not.
What about your other colleagues? What's become of them?
They felt guilty. They stopped their experiments and returned to Al-Sad.
What do the other scholars think of Dr. Asili now that his actions have been revealed for all to see?
Most still admire him greatly. He was the greatest amongst us, you know? They didn't witness what was happening in the lab, and they have little interest in the natives. For them, the main problem is political, given that the war against the rebels cost us dearly. Until they understand the horrors that happened there, they will not have any moral issues.
Are you prepared to testify against Dr. Asili?
I would like to say no. You had me thrown in prison, and without Dr. Onur's intervention, I would still be there. But I can't stop thinking about what we did in that laboratory. I think only by testifying will I ease my conscience.
Thank you. Your story could change the outcome of this trial. I must leave you.
You have returned, Your Excellency. Do you have any news on our matter?
No naught will appear at the trial. The doctor's victims were murdered.
This is appalling. I told you that doctor's defense would be ruthless.
The islanders will testify at the trial. Their injuries will surely convince the judges.
Indeed. But do bear in mind that the islanders are not highly regarded in Hikmet.
I managed to convince the scientists in the governor's laboratory to speak in our favor.
Excellent. These are not direct witnesses, but if they denounce the doctor, we are sure to be heard.
I even got a testimony from one of Dr. Asili's colleagues.
Perfect. That will convince our scientists, and you know how important they are in Hikmet.
Afra, one of Dr. Asili's former students, has agreed to testify.
Excellent. This woman is very respected by the governor. Her statement will carry a lot of weight.
I picked up a strange powder in the laboratory. A substance that I've not been able to identify.
You should show it to an alchemist. We need to know what it is to be able to use it.
I have found a letter proving that Dr. Asili voluntarily transmitted the Malachor to my cousin, Constantin d'Orsay. I would like to add that I too was a victim of this poisoning.
Did the accused try to take the life of the governor of New Serene? This is an extremely serious crime.
Indeed. He saw my cousin and me as the ideal control group to prove his theories. And no humanitarian or diplomatic consideration could put a stop to his ambition.
This letter alone is crucial proof. I will put it on our file.
I'm going to continue my investigation. I believe our investigation is coming to an end. Let's find the prosecutor.
You're back. What do you want now?
I discovered this strange powder in one of the laboratory's chests. Do you know what it is?
I did see the doctor using it once or twice, but I don't know what it is. But I can study it for you if you want. I have the tools that will allow me to do so here.
So? What is it?
It is a quintessence of black blood. Probably created using the blood of numerous patients. The doctor managed to harness the very concept of the Malachor in this powder. A single pinch ingested by someone would be enough for them to be afflicted by the disease. With the quantities that you brought me, hundreds of people could be contaminated. It's terrifying. I cannot believe Asili would do such a thing. Here. These are my notes. I wrote down all the details of my experiments, as well as my conclusions.
Thank you. I will relay them to the prosecutor. I must leave you.
Let's get rid of these money bags.
At the fiery flasks, you'll find the quick...
Greetings. What can I serve my favorite clients?
I was honored by your visit. Please, come back whenever you want.
You have returned, Your Excellency. Do you have any news on our matter?
An alchemist studied the powder that we found in the laboratory. Apparently, it's some kind of concentrate made from the blood of several patients with the Malachor. It seems that less than a pinch of this powder is enough to contaminate whoever consumes it. There's enough here to make a small town sick.
A terrifying thought. I will add the analysis and this powder to the evidence on record. You have gathered overwhelming evidence. The defense will have a hard time saving the accused. I think we can go to trial with confidence now.
I'm going to continue my investigation.